Good afternoon. Marisa Fletcher here, your solar pro, and I am making a quick video to share with you um, 5 things to check when you get a solar proposal over. So this is going to be 5 things to check when you get a proposal. And I'm going to start here in my dashboard and show you guys the first thing I check when those come over to make sure that when they do come through, they don't get stuck in contract review because something's not right or anything like that. So let's take a quick look. So I'm going to use this example of a proposal. I'm going to pull that on up. Let's see, for a particular client. And the first thing I do when I get that proposal, first of all, you need a good, clean, clear copy of a bill so that you can get an accurate proposal. If you've uploaded a good bill, the proposal should be pretty accurate, but you always want to check. So the next thing I do, as soon as a proposal comes up, is I verify name, phone number, information. Okay, I'm going to scroll through that quickly because it's an actual client, but I verify that information. I highlight it, make sure the phone number is right, the first and last name is right, and the email address is correct. If you don't do that and you order loan docs or you order solar closing docs, they're not going to go to the right destination. And it's a whole nother process to just get a name corrected or just get something fixed. So you want to check that first. The next thing you do is you want to come in, or the next thing that I would do is before I even look at the design, I'm going to come in and go to my kilowatt bar, my kilowatt graph. I want to make sure that this is plotted correctly because sometimes the design team doesn't give the right kilowatt hours on each month. They could either do a guesstimation, they can do an annual amount that's not fully accurate. So I'm going to come here and check. I'm going to see what they've got in for that annual usage of kilowatt hours. And then I'm going to check the actual month of the bill that I have. So for this example, I think I had an August bill. And on that bill, I can clearly see that there was 1890 kilowatt hours used that month. And so if I open this and I see that my team put in that exact amount, then 9 times out of 10, all of the other ones are going to be correct as well. Okay, because they plotted out exactly. Okay, so you want to make sure that's right. Another way to check it is just look at the bill and compare that graph to this graph. Make sure it looks accurate. Okay. The next thing you want to check down here is this price per kilowatt hour that's been inputted here. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to take the total cost of the electricity, divide it by the number of kilowatt hours used in that month, and that is going to give you the proper kilowatt hour that client is being charged. Okay. So in this instance, it came pre-populated at 35 cents, but this particular client was only paying like 27 cents. So on average kilowatt hour per rate, I've done the math, and let's say it was 27.86. I'm going to specifically put that amount in so that it adjusts what his average current bill is, and that amount is correct. If you have the wrong amount here, it'll get stuck in contract review. Okay, so that's what I would do next. So let's see. I verified the client. I verified the kilowatt usage. I've also verified what his current cost per kilowatt is. The next thing I would do is then come out and pick my equipment that I'm using for this client. It usually comes over with some basic equipment included. You can click there and just change the equipment. Are you going to use hand walls? Are you going to use Rex? Are you going to use long guys or longies? However you pronounce it. I think we have longies available. So I'm going to choose longies for this client. And then also you choose the correct inverter. Okay. So don't go with what's already input there. Make sure you pick your equipment and you pick your inverter. Okay. So you know exactly what you're getting there. All right. The next thing I would do is I would then come in to edit and pick, select or deselect my slides. Select or deselect the panels that I'm going to use for this client. Okay. So on this particular one, I think I have 27 panels selected. These 27 panels gives me 109% offset. When we're in time of use in California, we really want a higher offset. So I'm seeing anything between 120 and 130 as an offset. So I'm going to bump this client up to about a 130 offset so we can avoid any charges that are going to happen during time of use in California when he pulls at the nighttime rates. Okay. So that's the next thing. You want to select or deselect your panels. This house already has pool warmers on it here. So that's why all of these panels are deselected, because obviously I can't put panels on top of something that's already there. Can't put panels on top of panels or panels on top of the pool warmers that they have out there. You also cannot place panels on a patio. So we removed from there, and then that's where we got the panels, the 32 panels that we're left with for this example. Okay, so that's next. And then last but not least, you got to come in and start adding your adders. Got to add your adders, okay? Most jobs not most, some jobs have electrical adders where we might need an electrical panel. If you're gonna add an electrical panel, always make sure to add the stucco and paint so that they can paint the house back and put the stucco around the panel, okay? TBD is to be determined. That means you're not sure, and if the client doesn't need it, they're not gonna put it in, okay? Required means it's required. That there's going to be a 200 amp panel upgrade regardless, okay? The client either needs it or the client wants it, but you want to make sure you add that adder. The next most important adder is our mounting adder. Is this house on a concrete tile or asphalt comp roof, okay? If you're redoing the roof, no problem, you don't need this adder, but unless you're redoing the roof, if it's concrete tile, you're going to need a concrete tile adder. The extended warranty is the next adder I go to. I always use a 30-year Powur Care extended warranty. Multiple arrays is when there's more than 2 arrays on a house. 1, 2, 3. This house has 3 arrays, so I am going to give it a multiple array adder. And an array is just a group of panels. This is 4 in this array. This is however many panels, 11, I think. And then that's another array. So this house has 3 arrays on it that I'm using. And then I'm going to go in and add a margin as well. In this case, it's set at 1. So I'm going to use a margin. There's other adders in here for batteries, tree trimming rebate, critter guard, in case you want to wrap the panels in that critter guard so nothing gets underneath them. Adders for attic runs, dirt trenching. If you're doing a ground mount, you're going to need dirt trenching or concrete cut and patch, or trenching through rock formation for ground mounts, depending on where that ground mount is. So that pretty much wraps up the adders, right, for this particular project. So I've added my adders on this project. Okay, so now the next step after adding the adders on my project is to select my financing. So let's say this normally comes up as cash, so you're not going to have an option there, okay? But let's say with this client, I decided to go with a Good Leap, and I'm going to go with a, no, you know what, let's go with Mosaic. And we're going to go with the 8.99. Okay. Those are my 2 payments. I've selected my financing based on price and my adders. These are my payments. Another thing I've done is you see a new customer incentive here, right? Because at the time of this video, Powur is offering a new customer promo. You get the option to keep that in there or not. It's up to you. Whenever you add a new customer promo, it adds to the overall price of the loan amount. Okay. So let's say in this instance, I don't want to give a new customer promo because I want to make my loan amount lower, okay? I would go to my incentive tab here. I would look at my incentives. One is the federal tax credit. So that's another thing. If I know this client doesn't qualify for the federal tax credit, I'm going to hide that adder and take it off the proposal. Also, if I decide not to give them this new customer incentive because I want their loan amount to be lower, I am going to hide that adder as well. So if I hide both of those adders and I click update, or both of those incentives rather, and I click update, you'll see the incentives were removed from the proposal. There's no tax credit incentive. There is no $3,500 new customer incentive. And then you'll also notice my loan amount dropped by the amount of that customer promo. Okay. So depending on the client, where we're at with pricing, you know, this client's average price per month was $296. So I want to stay as close to that as I possibly can. So maybe I take that incentive out. Or maybe I say, you know what, I want to use that incentive to, you know, help this client make the decision to go solar. I can add that incentive back in, but notice it does add to the price, and it did raise our monthly payments up a little bit. Okay. Another thing that I would change in my proposal is when we first get our proposals, there is a utility escalation that shows it looks like this, right? This looks like this, and this looks like this. I don't like that format. It's basically telling you what's the energy charges and what's the fixed cost. I don't like that format. So I come into my utility escalation and I come in and I remove that check mark and it'll add everything together. Okay, it's much better for me aesthetically. Also, you'll notice that this new utility bill says -$7. That's never going to be the case. There's always a connection fee with solar. So you know it's not going to be a -$7. So what I would do is come into this -$7, click there under my post solar bill override section and add in what that monthly connection fee would be. Okay. Some utilities is a flat monthly connection, like Riverside, you know, it's $10 a month. It's a customer service charge or a customer charge, not service, customer charge. So that's going to be the same every month. With SCE, I kind of guesstimate. You're going to have it higher on the months where we're pulling from the grid. So it's going to be closer to the $15 on these months. And on these months, it's going to be less. Okay. Exactly how much, I don't know, but it is going to be less than that $15 a month charge. So that's where I came up with that number from. Okay. This is your 25-year savings. I talked to clients about that. What else am I leaving out? Let's see. Roofing. If I need to request a roofing proposal, I'm going to request it right from there. Just click request roofing proposal. Add in any notes that you want to add in here. Like if you need a full re-roof, I would just add that note, full re-roof, if I could spell roof. So you add whatever notes you're going to need in there and submit it. And that'll get you a roofing proposal within 24 to 48 hours. My name is Marisa Fletcher. I am your solar pro. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to partnering with you. Bye-bye for now.